friends. Hi, I'm Shirish, and my topic for today is interview. If you are worried about the interview, or you have some campus interview around the corner, or you're just trying for a new job and bit worried about it, then I have some tips for you. I'm definitely not going to tell you what you should wear, how you should appear, how you should show your confidence, or what answers you should give for typical questions. I'm going to share with you what you should understand when a typical question is asked to you. Okay, so let us start. First, the very first question in the campus interview is, tell me something about yourself. Exactly. This question is the first question, and the person who's going to interview he is trying to know about you. Now, let us be very clear that the person is not interested exactly about your whereabouts. When he says, I want to know something about you or tell me about you, then a basic thing that he wants to know about you is your family background. He wants to know what are your interests. He wants to know what is your qualification, and he wants to know what is your goal. Okay, sometimes some people end up, or some candidates end up telling them the entire story of their family, the people in their family, their interest, their whereabouts, where do they stay, and many blah 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 things which should not be actually told in the interview. Okay, these are the four basic things the person wants to know. Because when you tell about your family background, he comes to know about with what background you are coming, in the sense what is your idea of a job, what he understands from your parents' qualification, or he understands from your surrounding family atmosphere about your understanding. Okay, then when you tell him about your qualification, he of course understands about how qualified you are and what is your understanding about the job, or taking up the job, or what you should ideally do, having the basic qualification. And about your hobbies, yes, your hobbies, tell him, if like you tell some hobby which is related to sports, then the person understands that if you are practicing it, then it is a sign of physical fitness for him. If you tell him something about reading, then he understands you have lot of knowledge. If you tell him whatever you tell him, like if you tell him something about singing or music, he understands that you have one creational side of yours. Okay, so many a times during campus interviews especially, the candidates just copy and paste the CVs that are prepared by one of their friends, or which has just come all along to their pedestal. So you should not do that. Basically, whatever you mention in your CV should be relevant, and it should be you can say in link with what you exactly like and about your information which is needed. Okay, now the second question is, the person asks, like, suppose why you should be selected. Now here sometimes the candidate ends up saying that he should be selected because he has scored good, because he needs the job, or because he has answered well. So this is not the reason. Okay, why you should be selected is, see, there are many people who are going to face the interview after you are going to. So here you need to reply to the person that I should be selected because today I am so and so qualified. If I am selected for this position, I would be the relevant candidate for this. Of course, my colleagues also would be the relevant candidate, but I have more work to learn in the same field. I would like to learn this categories in this field. I would like to explore your organization in this way, and I would like to learn, so you can say 1 2 3 things from your organization. And of course, possibly if you are a localite and the organization is in your place itself, then you can say, because you are a localite person, you are not looking for hopping or changing the job immediately. You have a long-term plan. Okay, so of course the interviewer, if he comes to know that he is investing in a person who's not going to leave the job very soon, or if you tell him that you have some 3 to 4 years of plan of staying in the same organization, then specifically you have better chances of being choosing. Okay, third question probably here would be about your hobbies. As I told you, many times hobbies is copy paste. See, at times hobbies are not at all relevant to what profile you have and what job you're appearing for. But yes, it doesn't matter, because people come from different backgrounds, people have different hobbies, and hobbies has nothing to do with your work. Okay, yes, you should do whatever work you're doing, you should do it passionately, but you can have something as your hobby which is not your work, which is a piece of art probably, which is a creativity in you. And yes, hobbies keep person alive. So whatever hobby you have, whatever likings you are telling in the interview, it shows your creative side, or the side which is more transparent, and probably you can say more outgoing. Okay. Okay, sometimes the interviewer also gives you some situations, some critical situations, or some situations wherein he tells you that you are pressured under some job, some situation, and how would you come out of it. Now when such situations are given to you, here you need to understand that he wants to know if you can work under pressure. If you are able to give him some example wherein you have worked under pressure, you have studied under pressure, and you have come out of it successfully under different non-possible chances, then probably you are at a right place, then probably you have given the right answer. Okay, sometimes the interviewer also asks you or gives you some problem, and he needs to see your analytical skills or strategic skills. So here, when you tell the interviewer about solving some problem, or you tell him an example how you had overcome some problem or solved it, he understands if you can be a good executor or you can be a good strategic planner. Now difference here is, if you are a good executor, then you can be a person who can execute the job. But if you are good at planning, if you are given an example of you have been a part of a plan and executing it, you can be a good executor. But if you are telling an example wherein you have planned out something, that means you have good analytical skills, you have good strategic planning in you, and then you are more likely to be chosen for the managerial job. So the person who interviews you, he thinks that this person can be groomed and taken up for a managerial position in future. Okay. Now, being at a very first level at a campus interview, please do not go and bluff about you planning the job or strategic planning or something like that, because in the very first job you need to be more in the executional level. The more you execute the job, the more you understand it, and probably then planning can be the next step where you can actually plan the job and perform it. Okay. During all this interaction, the main thing is about your communication skill. While you're discussing it, while you're telling about your experiences, while you're giving him examples, the interviewer also sees that you have good communication skills or bad communication skills. Please keep it in mind that no matter you speak in English, no matter you speak in Marathi, but your communication should be clear. See, language barrier can be a problem, but you can always overcome it. So this is something you need to do prior to your interview, that you need to learn some language thoroughly. You need to practice it. You need to pronounce, and then you need to speak it properly. Then he can say you are good in communication in specific language. Otherwise, if you are able to speak in any local language, that is also okay, because at times the interviews are taken for shop floor, where the people working in the shop floor are localite people and they do not actually speak English. So they need someone who can handle the team or talk to the team in the local language. So that can be a different criteria. So you need to understand what position you are being interviewed for. So before going to interview, yes, you need to understand what position you are going to be interviewed, and what could be the location, who are the people who are going to work with you, and what is going to be your job profile. It helps you a lot to understand the profile, and that helps you to give the interview in a better way. Okay, these were some basic examples which are of questions which are asked in an interview, and if you understand the question properly and you have done your study, you have done your homework, then of course the job is yours. All the best.